Welcome back. This is People Wonder, and you're watching my All the Mods 9 playthrough. Today, we're going to be redesigning the create processing area, so let's get straight to it. As I was chunk aligning all of this, I realized that this walkway is not in alignment. And before we get too carried away with building this whole area, I noticed that my starter area, so this is kind of where the base, originally started, it's all in normal stone bricks instead of deep slate bricks. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and fix that before we do anything else. I think I'm going to get started with the main structure over here. Okay, and now we have the basic frame of the building itself, but we do have to work on this area down here. I love how this area is coming out. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty great. We're getting it cleaned up with the facades. We might have to fix the glowstone facades, but you need a special recipe for that. But for down here, I was thinking we would do brass casings for the floor. Yeah, just imagine if the whole floor looked like that, with maybe like some glowstone in the middle, just to give it some light. I think that's going to look beautiful. Oh yeah, that's looking great. I'm loving this aesthetic. Now, for the walls, I was thinking something a little bit brighter. Oh yeah, I think that is looking absolutely beautiful. Just the details. I decided to go with darks on the walls as well, but I did decide to use this lighter brown to give a contrast with the lights in the middle. And yeah, something's gonna go in the middle here, so this will make a little more sense, but it almost feels like a well-decorated palace to me. I like the contrasting textures too between the outer layer and the inner layer here. And I'll go ahead and fix this. It almost makes me want to put something on the other side. We're not going to worry about that today. We're going to worry about what's going on in here. So right in the center of this room, I plan on building a steam engine. So first, we're going to start by adding some water wheels. And then we need to make a trip into the nether to collect some blazes for our blaze burners. Then we need to begin on the construction of the actual steam engine itself. So we're going to have 4 blaze burners in the middle. I was originally going to do 3x3, but then I realized it would ruin the symmetry. So we'll just do 2x2. That'll give us plenty of force. And every 4 blocks gives us 1 level. So let me see if I can fit 8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, again, still, it'll give us plenty of force. That'll be more than we'll ever even know what to do with. And I'm actually going to go back down to just 4, because I realized that every blaze burner only gives us 1 level, so we can only utilize 4 to begin with. And with 4 levels, we can utilize 4 of these steam engines, so we'll just attach 4 of these guys to the side here. And if we take a shaft, you'll see it connects to the shaft. Like so. Just got to get it to go in the correct direction. Okay, so that's our basic outline there. And then we need to pump some fluids in. So we're just going to add some mechanical pumps on the side here. And use some fluid pipes to pump the water in. So the first thing that we're going to do is deliver rotational force to the water pumps. And you'll see I'm using a rotational speed controller just to increase the speed at which our rotational force is coming in. And we want to crank this all the way up to 240 RPMs because any more than that is not really helping you, since 240 is kind of the max that those water pumps can pump in. And then we need to actually get the rotational force to the water pumps. And a couple of cogwheels should do the trick. Alright, and that should be working. Yeah, we should be pumping fluid into it now. Except for some reason the steam engines aren't turning right now, which is kind of odd because the blaze burner should be generating heat passively. So let me look into this and I'll figure out why it's not working. So I got this water pump figured out. All I did was moved it, one block away from here. And I'm not 100% why that didn't work. Maybe because it wasn't registering this as an infinite water block. But yeah, anyways, as you can see, if I can get in here. Yep, now our steam engine is running on passive. But yeah, obviously 2000 stress units is not that much. We're going to have to go ahead and upgrade that. And we're going to do that by delivering lava into these blaze burners. So the way we're going to be delivering the lava to the blaze burners is with this mechanical arm. By right-clicking them while holding the mechanical arm in your hand. Okay, so yeah, before we place this, I actually need to get the depot set up. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we have a depot set up, a smart chute, and our blaze burners. So we'll just right click all of this with our mechanical arm. There we go. Yeah, so we want to use a smart chute here with the empty bucket as the filter. And then, yeah, it'll dump the lava into the blaze burners, put the bucket back down, and we're going to build a belt system to automatically refill all of these buckets And in order to do so, we're going to be using cauldrons with dripstones above them. And voila, just like that, we've got dripstones filling up these cauldrons. So we are going to pull out of these cauldrons and into a spout filler over here. Like that. And then we need to get the fluid into it, obviously. So we're going to be pulling out of these cauldrons with a mechanical pump, since apparently the mechanical pipes don't work on it. So we have to transfer rotational force over there, which I'll go ahead and do real quick. Okay, and now we should just need to connect these fluid pipes, and that should fill the spout with the lava. But I guess we'll find out, right? Ah, look at that. That is a good feeling right there. So the last thing we need to do is get rotational force both to the mechanical arm and to the belts. And then last but not least, the mechanical arm. Okay, so our system should be fully primed, and once I add a few empty buckets, we should be in business. So let's test out my theory here. Just pull out some buckets real quick. Oh, I gotta make some. I'll make 4 buckets. Now, every bucket that gets dumped into the blaze burner should burn for... I can't remember if it's 1,000 ticks or 1,000 seconds. I think it's 1,000 ticks. But regardless, we have 6 cauldrons, which exceeds our needs. You need 1.2 cauldrons for every blaze burner. And obviously I have 1.5. And 4 buckets should rotate around quickly enough, and the mechanical arm should be quick enough as well to keep the system fully supplied. And you'll also notice that all of the infrastructure, so everything to run the boiler itself, is run off of these water wheels. And I did that just because I don't know how it's going to interact, logging in and off the server. I just don't really ever want this boiler to shut down, because if it does, then I'm going to lose my auto-craft capabilities in my AE system. Yeah, and we want to avoid that, so... Oh no. Okay. I see what's going on. I have to fix my belt system just a little bit. Okay, now we should have a fully functional belt system. Yeah, it was feeding off the end here instead of onto the other belt. Yeah. Obviously not what we want. Oh, look at that. Fills the buckets with lava. The mechanical arm, oh my goodness. It deposits the lava into the blaze burner, puts it on the smart chute over here. Oh yeah. And we're powering up now, baby. Oh, level 2, and I already have 32,000 kinetic stress capacity. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we're gonna have more kinetic stress capacity than we even know what to do with here. This is beautiful. I'm just gonna go ahead and ramp this back up to 240 RPMs. Just so we're at our maximum speed here. Oh yeah. So it's actually telling me I'm limited by my size. So I'm going to try adding another layer of fluid tanks here. Oh no, it's saying I'm limited by my heat because I have not filled up with lava yet. Yeah, we just gotta wait for the cauldrons to fill up with the dripstone. So yeah, we're waiting on lava. Our lava production is lagging behind a little bit. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Yeah, there it is. It's working. So we have a fully functional steam boiler now. And we're going to head upstairs and we're going to start working on some of our automated processes. So the first thing I want to start working on is my mechanical press. And the main reason is, well, it's the main thing I've been missing. But before we ever even get started on that, I want to just make a quick note here. I realized when I was setting up my boiler, I forgot to change the direction that these two steam engines were spinning. Yeah, so if you're going to, combine the rotational force like this with the cogwheels, you have to make sure that, if this is spinning clockwise, which it is, and then this is spinning counterclockwise, so they got to be spinning in opposite directions, just in case anybody is trying to follow. I built in a stressometer, and I put this gearbox here so I could pull my rotational force from there when I need to. Yeah, and you'll see we're working at level 4 now with a full capacity of 65,000, and we got buckets on backup, so all of that's working as it should. And so for the first thing, when we're doing our automated processes here, we want to do a pattern provider because we're going to be pulling from our AE system to do all of this, and you hit it with a wrench and it makes this little arrow here. So that's going to connect to the AE system. You see it says device online. I hope there's enough channels. I hope I didn't lose one of these pattern providers, which is very possible. But I guess we'll find out if that's the case. I'll put a chest right there. And the reason I'm putting my pattern provider right here is just so we don't have to worry about, changing out that facade. So out of sight, out of mind, right? And the setup itself is pretty simple. You just throw a funnel there and a couple of shafts. Boom. One right there, one right there. You don't need very much space. Just enough, for the mechanical press to do its job. And you put the mechanical press with one space in between, like that. And we're going to go ahead, set up another chest over here. We'll put a brass casing under that, just for aesthetics. And then we put a funnel. Now I'm going to take all of this and loop it back around. I'm just going to take some basic logistical transporters. We shouldn't ever be doing any processes that require more than just a basic. I might upgrade it later just for speed, but right now, stick with basic. I'm going to loop it all the way back around so that when this is finished, it deposits the completed product back into the AE system and completes the auto-craft. So in this use of the logistical transporter, it is important that we have the push and the pull set up, more so the pull, just so that it knows to pull out of this chest. So we need to set up some rotational force. So I'll go ahead and pull some rotational force from down below. And of course, we're going to be using a rotation speed controller to make sure that we are on maximum RPMs. Because, I mean, realistically, otherwise, why else did we build the steam engine if we can't process things at max speed? And there you can see we are transferring rotational force to the mechanical press so fast that you can't even see which direction it's spinning. Yeah, and we're using 2,000 stress units, which is actually quite a bit, but fortunately we could do that 30 times over before we overstress our system. I think I actually ran out of gearboxes. Okay, nope. I still got a couple. I'm gonna have to batch craft a bunch of those here soon. And hopefully this is spinning the correct direction. There is only one way to find out. Yeah, so it actually looks like it's spinning the correct direction, but it is not. So let's see what happens if I move this gearbox over to this side. Nope, okay, still the wrong direction. That's fine. I just gotta invert the direction down below with another gearbox here. Yeah, and it doesn't matter, you know, which direction the mechanical press is spinning. Oh, yeah, the iron went back into the system, so... Yeah, it happens so quickly you can't even see it. But you can see it moving, you know, through this pipe. I think I will end up upgrading this pipe, just because, you know, I don't want it to take forever getting around back into the AE system when we're doing an auto-craft. You know, we want it to be as quick as possible. But yeah, that was the main thing that we wanted to set up. So another thing that I want to set up as well is I want to make precision speed controllers on passive. And this is going to be a little bit more of an involved process, but I think we can pull it off. I think we can do it right here in this corner. We're going to set up a chest right there. Yeah, we're actually just going to go ahead and make a bunch of elite logistical transporters and do everything with elite logistical transporters. And I do need a logistical sorter. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and replace these. And with the logistical sorter here, we should be able to use the same chest. Maybe not. No. I know what we'll do. Okay, so the secret was actually in this interface right here. I was trying to figure out how we were going to get the deployers, the items it needs, and the answer was actually the same answer I used over here. So I have this interface requesting these items to keep these machines primed with their inputs, I guess you could call them, fuel, maybe, if you will, because, you know, you have the enriched obsidian, and then you put another item in, and it creates, you know, it infuses it and makes a different item. Well, in this case, we're going to be using this interface with deployers that have filters on them in order to keep our deployers fully stocked up. And then we are going to have a pattern provider right here. And this is going to supply the gold plate whenever we call for it to the system. Once I get it configured properly, yep, like that. And then we'll put, well, actually I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's inputting into the chest there. We'll use this Fluix cable. there to connect it. We'll close that back up. And then, oop, I need some more shafts. Let me go ahead and pull those. Okay, and then we're just gonna have one belt go across like this. Again, 3 spaces wide. That's all you need. That's the minimum, anyways. And then we are going to, over here, put another chest. Then we need to get our funnel set up. Right there, and then we'll get some more funnels set up like that. Some shafts and another belt. And then we got to figure out how to get rotational force to these guys in opposite directions. Okay, so yeah, you guys can see how I came up behind it here. I just need to make sure that's spinning the right way. And it's not. So I'll go ahead and fix that. Okay, and now we have that spinning the correct direction. And for this other one, we're just going to take the rotational force from here. Yeah, I didn't like that because they're going opposite directions. That's fine. Okay, so now we have our belt set up. We'll go ahead and set up our deployers. And with the deployers, again, you just want one space in between. You definitely don't want 2 spaces in between. Otherwise, it's going to try to place your cogwheels. Yeah, and it creates a mess. It doesn't work. So just one space. And very important in our setup here is to set the proper filters. Okay, so we have the filters set. I'll go ahead and throw these items back in the AE system. We're going to be using these Elite Logistical Transporters to pull the items out of the pipe and into our filtered deployers. Of course, setting the pull and the push. And you can see the deployers have the items in their hands. We just got to get rotational force to the deployers themselves. And again, deployers are one of those items where the direction of the rotational force doesn't matter. So now we have our system fully primed. And I actually made a mistake, kind of burying myself back here. That's okay, I can just break the glass and get to this pattern provider here. And I'm going to set up a processing pattern. So basically, since the interface is always calling for the cogwheels and the iron nuggets we need, the only thing we need to finish this loop is the gold plate. So we're going to go in here. Oop. And we're going to set up a processing pattern. And basically, we're going to tell it to put a gold plate in. So we're saying you put in 1 gold plate. And then we're going to say a precision mechanism comes out. Like that. We encode the pattern. So now when we call for this pattern, the pattern provider is going to put the gold plate in. It's going to run the cycles. We'll put that right there. And we have one final step. So obviously these are unfiltered funnels. And that's nice because you can't use filtered funnels on the incomplete precision mechanisms because every stage it is counted as a different item, so we have to use the andesite funnels. But we can pull out of this chest the complete precision mechanism and use these logistical transporters Okay, and there it is. That is about as tight as we could have possibly made it, but it should be fully functional. So as always, we got to give it a test, and I'm pretty excited to see how this all turns out. Oh yeah. Okay, I see. It's missing a funnel. Just go ahead and throw a funnel on there. Oh my goodness, it's so fast you can't even see it. I should have a precision mechanism now. I see. I have to turn this funnel around. You can see the arrows saying it wants to go into the chest. No, we want it to come out of the chest. Yeah, and now we can see it going all the way around. But it looks like the logistical sorter doesn't want to pull the precision mechanism out. It's probably going too fast for it. I'm going to actually try a brass funnel. Yeah, see, auto-craft complete. So it was just going so fast it couldn't even comprehend. But maybe I'm wrong about the incomplete precision mechanism. Okay, so now I have a filter on a brass funnel for an incomplete precision controller, and hopefully it's not just for that stage, but we'll find out. I'm going to request another precision mechanism here. Ah, it works for every stage of the incomplete precision mechanism. And then it sends, yep, perfect. So that, my friends, is an automated auto-craft precision mechanism right there. We got our plates. I just have to make the recipes and put them in the pattern provider, and we'll be able to get that on auto-craft. And I got to clean up some of this carnage. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I was super excited about that Steam engine, and I was pretty excited to get this stuff back on AutoCraft because making plates manually is definitely not the way to go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about how all this turned out. There was a lot of content covered in this episode, and I think I did a pretty good job of cutting through it and just getting straight to the action with a lot of it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how all this turned out. I have an idea. I'm not super thrilled about the lava back there, and I recently had an artist make me a new logo, so I'm thinking that would be the perfect place to display my new logo, but maybe we'll do that in another one of these intro montages. Until the next time, my friends, stay blessed.